notification banning all Army League activities until the trial is over. With the available equipment and facilities, it is possible to improve the quality of healthcare by 25%, Chief Advisor. Police will not have deadly weapons, Home Affairs Advisor. Sheikh Hasina is responsible for all the killings in July-August, Chief Prosecutor. Zelensky ready for direct talks with Putin in Turkey. Pakistan military claims that India has shown interest in ceasefire. US-China reduced reciprocal tariffs by 115% for 90 days. Kurds end 4 decades of bloody struggle, declare extinction. Expatriate income history. Kohli announces retirement from Tests. Dear viewers, this is SM Sharmin Jahan and you're welcome to Daily Top 10. A notification has been issued banning all political activities of the Army League, said Home Affairs Advisor Lieutenant Retired Jahangir Alam Chaudhary. He gave this information at a briefing after a meeting of the Advisory Council Committee on Law and Order on Monday. The Home Affairs Advisor said a notification has already been issued banning all activities of the Army League as a political organization. It is our responsibility to implement the matter as per the ordinance. Earlier on Saturday, a decision was made to ban all activities of the Army League until the trial is over at the meeting of the Interim Government's Advisory Council, said legal advisor Asif Nazrul. Professor Dr. Muhammad Yunus, the chief advisor to the interim government, believes that if civil surgeons really want to, it is possible to improve the quality of health and medical services by 25% even with limited resources. The improvement is possible only if the rules and regulations in the health sector are followed. He made these remarks at the inaugural ceremony of the Civil Surgeon Conference at the Chief Advisor's office in Tejgaon in the capital on Monday. The Chief Advisor said, "We cannot remain idle on the pretext of limited resources, including manpower and equipment. We have to provide medical services with what we have. We have to try to solve the problems at the same time." The government has decided not to keep deadly weapons like Chinese rifles, submachine guns, and 9mm pistols in the hands of the police. The Home Affairs Advisor informed reporters about this decision after the 9th meeting of the Advisory Council Committee on Law and Order on Monday. After the fall of the Army League government on August 5 last year, due to the student public uprising, there was a demand from various quarters not to keep lethal weapons in the hands of the police. At the DC conference held last February, several DCs also recommended not keeping such weapons in the hands of the police. At the press conference, the Home Affairs Advisor said the deadly weapons will only be in the hands of the APBN. There is no need for deadly weapons to go on police operations. When asked when this decision would be effective, he said, "The decision was made today. Any decision is not implemented immediately. It will take some time." Chief Prosecutor Muhammad Tajul Islam has said that ousted former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is responsible for all the killings that took place during the July-August student uprising. He said that Sheikh Hasina was the instigator and orderer of the killings in July-August. She is responsible for all the killings during this mass uprising. The Chief Prosecutor made the announcement at a press conference after submitting the investigation report on the genocide against Sheikh Hasina on Monday. He said that Sheikh Hasina bears superior responsibility for all the killings in the July genocide. There are 5 charges against her, against humanity. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said he was ready to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin to discuss ending the war. He announced the preparations in a post on social media X at 11 p.m. local time on Sunday. Zelensky wrote, "There is no reason to prolong the killing of people in war. Next Thursday, I will personally wait for Putin in Turkey. I hope that this time, the Russians will not look for excuses." He added, "We are waiting for a complete and permanent ceasefire starting tomorrow, which will create the necessary basis for diplomacy." Earlier, however, Zelensky said that his country was ready for talks with Russia, but only after the ceasefire came into effect. Pakistan's Inter-Services Public Relations (ISPR) spokesperson Lieutenant General Ahmed Sharif claimed that Pakistan did not request India for a ceasefire, but rather India showed interest in a ceasefire. The ISPR spokesperson made the claim at a press conference on Sunday night local time. The Pakistan military also said that it was strictly adhering to the ceasefire commitment. General Ahmed Sharif said, "We are strictly adhering to the ceasefire commitment along the line of control. However, if the opposing side violates the ceasefire, then we will respond appropriately. The United States and China have agreed to temporarily reduce tariffs on each other's goods, the two countries said in a joint statement in Geneva. The move will ease trade tensions and give the world's two largest economies 3 months to resolve their dispute, Bloomberg News reported. When senior officials from Washington and Beijing began talks in Geneva, Switzerland, the United States still had 145% tariffs on Chinese imports, and China had 125% tariffs on many U.S. products. During 2 days of talks, they agreed to reduce those reciprocal tariffs to 115% for the next 90 days, starting May 14th. Officials from both countries confirmed on Monday. As a result, Donald Trump's tariffs on most Chinese goods will be reduced from 145% to 30%, while China's tariffs on U.S. goods will be reduced to just 10%. The two countries also agreed to establish a mechanism to discuss economic and trade relations, the joint statement said. The Kurds have finally accepted defeat in their 4-decade armed rebellion demanding an independent Kurdistan. The Kurdistan Workers' Party, PKK, has officially declared itself dissolved by laying down its arms. The organization announced this in a statement on Monday, May 12. The news was published by the Firat news agency, which is close to the PKK. The organization announced this in a statement. This decision of the Kurds is seen as a great success for Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. In the statement, the PKK stated, "We're stopping all kinds of military activities. The time has come to redefine Turkish-Kurdish relations." The organization also said that from now on, Kurdish political parties will take responsibility for establishing democracy and building a democratic Kurdish nation. The PKK has completed its historic mission. The PKK's decision ended a bloody conflict that has lasted for almost 40 years in the border region between Turkey and Iraq. More than 40,000 people have lost their lives in this armed conflict. All previous records in expatriate income have been broken in the current 2024 to 2025 fiscal year. Expatriates have sent 25.27 billion to the country as of May 7. Previously, the highest expatriate income in the country was 24.77 billion in the 2020 to 2021 fiscal year. This information was given by Bangladesh Bank on Monday. According to Bangladesh Bank's calculations, remittances to the country from July 2023 to May 7, 2024 amounted to 19.72 billion. And in the current fiscal year, remittances to the country until May 7, 2025 amounted to 25.27 billion. In the first 7 days of this month, 735 million came, which is 22.3% more than the same period last year. At that time, 601 million came. The highest remittances in the country's history came in March in terms of months. This month, expatriate income in the country reached a record of 3.295630 million. In April, after Eid, expatriate income in the country reached 2.75 million, which is the second highest remittance record in the country's history in terms of months. Virat Kohli has announced his retirement from Test cricket. The Indian star batsman made the announcement in an Instagram post today. He had earlier announced his retirement from international T20Is last year. The 36-year-old batsman will now play only ODIs. Announcing his retirement from Tests, Kohli wrote, "I wore the baggy blue, India's Test cap for the first time in Test cricket 14 years ago today. Honestly, I never imagined where this format would take me. This format has tested me, shaped me, and taught me lessons that I will carry with me for the rest of my life." Dear viewers, thank you so much for watching. Good night.
For more updates, follow us on Facebook, subscribe our YouTube channel, get the latest update on www.daily-sun.com.